Guys, we are making crazy progress on the roll cage in the MR2, and it is looking so freaking good in here. We got the main hoop done. As you can see, that goes around the driver. Got some of the roof bars tacked up into place. Hayden got the gussets that we are... All the gussets?
All of the roof bars are done, yep.
Okay, so everything on the roof is done.
Yep.
Just has to be fully welded into place. You're still going to drop it back down later to do all of that. He's getting the bars that need to attach to the floor. There was a couple back there that needed to get done. We still have to do the dash bar across here and the door bars, which one will go right here, and then a second one to create an X on either side.
Yep, and then the outer, like funny car hoop.
And then the outer, yeah, part of the hoop right there, tying into those door bars, then tie in the back bars there, and she will be good.
Yep.
It is coming out so good. Really happy with how that is looking, and I believe we will be the first MR2 to have a 25-1 cert. I tried to look some up. I don't think any other MR2 has had this gnarly of a cage put in it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys know of one, let me know, but I believe this is the first with this level of roll cage in the car, and we definitely need it with how fast this thing has gone. So I'm excited to get this all knocked out, and then we'll be able to get her back to the track and try to beat our time, or at least back up that 7. We got to do it again.
Possibly get gapped by an RX-7 too.
Yeah, maybe. Get your car done, we'll line them up, have some fun. But yeah, that is looking really good. Hayden has been crushing it, and she is getting really, really close. Has it been pretty easy so far? Any challenges? I know it's your first MR2 cage, and
honestly,
also your first 25-1.
Well, it was the first 25-1, but I've done 2 other 25-2s. I've done one 25-2 and one 25-5. This is the first 25-1. But honestly, the biggest challenge is really just with myself, like trying to getting up before 10 o'clock and actually like
issue too.
Finding more working on it for longer than 5 hours in one day. So today is probably the longest I've worked on it consecutively, all day. So I made a lot of progress today, but yeah, that's been the only challenge really. All the bars have been pretty easy.
You got Wyatt over there bugging you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes both ways, but yeah, it just not being in my element really throws me off is really what it is.
Yeah, so, different shop and everything too.
It just
using our stuff.
Yep, not being home is weird.
Well, yeah, and also you got the time delay. It's like 2 hours ahead, so I know when you first got down here, it's not easy to wake up because
it just throws everything.
The time's way off and everything.
Yeah, but yeah, so I got these bars. I need to remake this one, but we're gonna drop this down to the floor. I'm going to weld everything on the floor so that way Kyle can go ahead and paint the underside of the floor before I shove this back up.
Yeah, we're finally going to get the page painted, boys. It's happening.
Yep. So then once he does that, I'm going to weld everything up top while it's dropped down and the paint's drying. So it'll be a whole lot of welding and then just a little bit of more bars to do and she'll be done.
Yeah, get the seat mounted back in there and everything.
Yep.
She's good to go, dude. That looks so good. So pumped on this. MR2's about to be ready to go 7s again.
Perfect.
Yes, dude.
Sick.
It's finally here.
Yes, sir. One more part to the puzzle.
All right, guys, you have obviously seen our new Jetstream jet boat that we are case swapping, and one of the most important pieces just came in today. We are really excited to show you guys what we have inside of this box. Came all the way from New Zealand, and it is from Scott Water Jet, because we got our K-Series, we got the power plant, we got the boat. We need a drivetrain for this thing. It is a jet boat, so these take a jet drive similar to a jet ski, but we actually got a little bit of a fancier unit. This one right here is designed for river boats and stuff like that. It's its own standalone unit. It is not designed for jet skis. It's actually slightly bigger than a jet ski drive, and this one was made kind of custom for us. I don't think anyone else has this specific model yet. We told these guys what we wanted to do, and they sized the impeller and everything specific for the engine we are using in our jet boat. So this finally just showed up, and we are getting her unboxed right now.
And
take a look at this thing.
A little bit special for us too, a taller intake grate, so that we can get our drive shaft angle better lined up. Yeah,
they made it custom pretty much just for us. They know what we're doing and made it specific to our application. So this is going to be freaking awesome, because that was a huge challenge we had to face with putting a K-Series in a jet boat, is we didn't know what drive to use, because a jet ski drive is way too short. The oil pan on the K-Series is pretty tall, so it'd be hard to get the motor low enough into the hull of the boat to work. We'd have to put a dry sump kit on the K series, and that's still not an option that we're completely throwing out of the window yet. We might do it into the future, but a dry sump kit for a K series is very expensive, and we want to try to make it work just with a stock motor just to get this thing up and going. And we think we are going to make it work with this custom drive right here from Scott Waterjet. So let's go ahead and get this thing opened up and take a look at what we got in here.
All right, my guy.
Open this thing up.
See what's in here. Ooh, dude, that's a freaking unit.
Check it out.
Shit.
ScottWaterjet.com. This is the 632 drive unit. Dude, that
Got
is
an air cylinder for, looks like,
we got
maybe
hydraulic actuated bucket on the
Oh,
back
that's
there
the
for the
hydraulic
reverse
trim.
bucket.
no, that's for the trim.
Oh, for the trim?
Yep. So the reverse bucket,
Oh, yeah.
then it's got a trim nozzle on the back of it. Dude, this thing is sick.
Dude, so sick. So we were originally going to go with a 612 unit. That is a drive that Scott Waterjet makes. They usually have it on the shelf, and after doing some research, that's what we were planning on going with. But after we hit them up and told them what we were trying to do and what engine we were using, they actually were coming out with this unit, and I believe we're the first to have this exact unit right here.
If this is publicly available yet.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
You're
Check
not
on-
sure. I
check
know
with
we're
Scott
one of the
Waterjet.
first to have the
Well,
632
yeah.
right here. It's actually slightly bigger than the one we were going to use.
Probably just go ahead and pull it on out of here.
Yeah, I think just
honestly.
lift it out of there. I don't know if you need a hand. I don't know how heavy this puppy is. Dude, that's pretty big.
This is a freaking stout unit, bro.
Dude, we are going to have one serious jet boat on our hands, boys.
Yeah, dude, that thing's nuts.
There she is, boys, out of the box. Scott Waterjet jet drive for our jet boat build.
Buddy,
That is
what a unit.
so sick.
Then you can see it's got its pneumatic trim control back here. So check this out. Well, I think we'll have to get a nozzle, maybe. I don't know if that's all they do. There's stuff in that box too I'll have to look at, but pneumatic trim control, and then a reverse bucket.
Dude, big fancy.
That's sick.
Big fancy. Yeah, they actually added some material down here and made this taller to get this flange higher up so it's more straight going to our engine, because normally this sits pretty low. And what's nice about these is, unlike a jet ski drive, you don't have to have the engine perfectly aligned with the shaft on a jet ski drive. You can actually have some slop here because you'll actually have a couple U-joints, and it's almost like a mini drive shaft that just has to spin this flange right here. Get this all mounted up in the boat, and she sucks up her water and she goes. All you gotta do is make this spin. So everything else is on us after that. Oh, that's heavy.
Oh, this is definitely, oh, this is like a pump deal. I wonder if this is an air pump for that pneumatic trim deal.
Oh, this might be for the pneumatic trim deal. There's a switch in there, toggle switch.
Well, yeah, but this is a
From
straight up
electronics.
electric pump. So I wonder if this is part of it. Let's see here.
Oh, is that a hydraulic pump?
Hydraulic pump.
Dude, that is fancy.
In out deal. I'm assuming this is for, yeah, it's got to be for the trim, because that trim's going to have so much force against it. That would make sense that they do it with hydraulic fluid. You got a bunch of line in
Yeah,
here.
we were thinking it was with air at
with
first.
air. That's definitely what that's for, is hydraulic fluid, because that nozzle is going to take some abuse. So keeping it nice and stout and where you want it is going to take some freaking torque. Let's see.
We got some stickers. Throw those on the boat.
I don't know what that is. That is a stout piece of machine
That's
parts.
the impeller.
Oh, is it?
That's one of the
yeah,
impellers.
one of the impellers.
It should have two impellers because this is a dual stage unit, which is also nicer than most jet ski drives. I believe all of the jet ski drives, like on Cletus's boat and like in my Sea-Doo, they are single stage drives which only have one impeller. This actually has two impellers, and it helps with like lower end acceleration. It helps not cavitate as bad, and just all around better performance.
Rings for something. Maybe that's the nozzle deal. The different output nozzles. Yep, that's what that is. So there's a bunch. It looks like there's a bunch of them in there. So maybe these are just to do different things. I don't know. We'll have to look into
They
that
do
more.
different things.
They do different things. I'm sure they change like the characteristics of how the outlet works. So got a bunch of those. Some more line. A whole bunch of stainless steel hardware.
That probably goes around the
Yep.
intake right there.
It water tights it.
Got our seal. Well, boys, there she is, our custom Scott Waterjet 632 unit. This thing is freaking sweet. A little bigger in person than we initially thought, but I think we are going to make it all work. We took some measurements, we got the boat pulled out of the hole we've been keeping it in over there, and from this point back is about 20 inches. So this whole intake piece right here will be inside the boat, and then from about this line and out, all of this will be sticking on the outside of the boat. If you look up under the deck right here, from that back wall to the edge of the deck is just about 20 inches. So we were worried that it was going to stick out a little past and look a little goofy, but it looks like it's all going to line up pretty well. And then we just took some rough measurements inside the boat, and we should be able to squeeze the whole K-Series inside of there along with the intake, because we also have to have a stubby drive shaft that goes right here, so we have to keep that in mind. But I think it's all going to work. We're going to give it our best shot,
but
might take a little finessing here and there.
Yeah.
And then there's also the pan to think about, the height of the engine and all that. But since we will have U-joints right here with a little drive shaft, we can actually tilt the engine a little bit and get away with some clearance there as well.
But can't tilt it, but we can lift it.
Yeah, we can lift it up some.
And it'll put a little bit of tilt in the drive shaft, but you'll have to keep the relation between the engine and this shaft the same. So that's something that we got to think about when we're building it. Whole lot of little things. Whole lot of little things.
Yeah, we got a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah.
We got a bare boat, a K-Series, and our drive, and now we got to make it all work inside of here.
I think it'll happen.
And I don't think anyone's done a K-Series in one of these Jetstream boats. I believe we are the first to try it.
Especially a 4-seater. Gives you a
Yeah,
little bit
especially
less
with the
room to work
4-seater.
with.
That's going to be a big challenge. And like we said, worst case scenario, we might have to go to a 2-seater if we need that extra room for the manifolds and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're going to give it our best shot.
I think we still can maybe get away with building an intake for it and getting the clearance right, because it would be really cool to have a 4-seater turboed K-Series freaking
Jet boat.
Like, that would be sick.
Yeah.
So
I'm freaking pumped. This unit is one fine piece of machinery, to say the least. And I think we're going to get ready to go ahead and pull it apart and start mocking some stuff up. So it looks like these 4 bolts, we kind of looked some stuff up online. We're going to actually talk to the guys over at Scott Waterjet tonight. They are out of New Zealand, so I have to wait till like later in the evening because the time difference is so off. So we're going to call them later and get some more information. But for now, we are pretty confident we can just pull these nuts off right here and slide the unit apart so we can get this intake piece rested up into the hull of the boat and just kind of see what we're working with in there.
keep going. Oh, you're good. 2 washers on there. Yes. Damn, bro. This thing's a unit. Spin it, but I'll try and hold it. Just give it a tappy tap. Okay,
There we go.
Yep. Nice. Take that guy loose. That's a stout freaking nut, my guy. Little shim. That's what I do. Set everything the way you came out.
That is a hefty impeller.
That's a unit, buddy.
That is thick.
It's got a nice keyway in there, big like 1/4-inch keyway.
That's the Rock Grinder 9000. Hopefully that grate will keep rocks out of this thing.
Yep. The Sandblaster 9000.
There she goes. Then there's the second impeller
Yep.
for that dual stage action.
Dude, that's a unit.
Dude, that is sick.
Alright, so that guy next. Just watch that seal. Alright,
Nice shaft you got there.
Pretty freaking big piece, dude. Like I figured, just a big support bearing in the back. And then it's supported up in the front of that cone. So, simple setup.
Sure.
Effective.
We just got that all pulled apart. Get these studs off. And then we have our intake piece right here.
Kind of start mocking it up.
So it looks like we're probably gonna we might have to trim a little bit of those out of the way. Yep. We're gonna have to cut those aluminum straps back some.
What's nice is I think that'll butt right up to that aluminum plate.
Yeah, once those are cut and
Yep.
it just tilts in. Yeah, we have that extra aluminum right here. That might be,
That's gonna really suck if it doesn't.
well, it's not going to because we have that big aluminum piece that has to go under that.
Oh yeah.
So,
Frick. That's
well, you know what we could do is take it to a machine shop and have them take off a 1/2-inch lip so that that aluminum piece
Just
sits over
it.
top of it. And then we just weld it all solid.
Yeah.
So the drive also came with the grate right here that goes on the bottom of the boat. You know, keep rocks and stuff out of there. And then it also came with this aluminum block right here that needs to get welded into the boat, and then it bolts right to that guy. So that is definitely gonna hit on the extra support we had added. So what I was just saying is if we took that to a machine shop and have them mill out just the little front section of it, it can sit right over that.
Yep, weld it in
be
on
good
top
to go.
of that extra plate, kind of tie it all together.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, sweet. So that's about where that sits. The flange comes just outside of that, and then you can see our Sharpie lines here. This is where it comes up and out, and that's where our K-series is gonna have to sit. And we did just measure. Looks like we should be cutting it close, but it should all go in there.
We're gonna be cutting it close in so many areas, but we should be able to make it work.
Wherever you cut it close, cut it off.
Yeah, yeah, for real. It should work though.
So we just measured the K-series from this back edge, which is pretty much flush with the face of the crankshaft to the front of the pulley, is 20 inches. And we don't have the drive shaft flange on there. How long did you say that was extra? Like
2 inches.
2 inches?
Yep.
So then we have another 2 inches off of there to the flange.
2 inches, so then it says 22 inches. So without a drive shaft, that's where we're at. So we could get away with something
Probably up to 28.
like 28 inches. So we gotta have a 6-inch drive shaft-ish, give or take.
So if it was 6 inches, we'd still be only at 28?
Yeah.
That'd be perfect, because we're still behind the main line at 28, even before the hump.
Yep.
Before this extra piece, so.
So the main goal is to keep it sub this portion, because that way we can still put the alternator up front on it and have room to get a pulley and the belt and everything in there. If we had to, I bet we could make it fit all the way up in the front of this, but it'd be nice not to.
Yeah, ultimately as compact as we can get it will be the best, because there's a lot of other little accessories we're gonna need to get back there. So the more room we can create everywhere, the better, because we got a fuel cell to add, the water separator, or the filter deal, like that helps separate the sand and stuff out. We can mount all that little stuff when we go to turbo it. Yeah, bilge pump, turbo kit stuff. Probably just a water to air intercooler, because we can just pump in fresh water to the water to air.
Yep.
We got a lot of things to figure out here on the boat, boys.
It'll be cool. I think what we do is a fresh water system on the whole engine. So it'll just run from like that sand filter, cool the engine, cool the water to air cooler, and then just dump out the exhaust in the back of the boat.
Yep. And what we're thinking is this piece right here on the end of the nozzle, we're assuming this is to pump water to the engine. You know, we haven't done our research yet. We could be completely wrong, but if that's what that is, that'd be nice, because then we can just tie that into the cooling system, and then
Pretty
we
positive that's high
pump
pressure.
the water right back out, and it'll keep that engine nice and cool.
Yep. Fresh water, you can never beat an ocean-wide cooling system. So,
Yep. I mean,
except for salt. Doesn't
yeah,
make everything.
we're definitely gonna put it into salt water at some point, and our K-series will get a taste of the ocean.
Yep.
But
Be nice and corroded. Lovely
we'll
corroded
clear it
aluminum.
out.
Yeah.
Just like the jet skis, you got to give them a good flush after we're done riding them.
Yep. We got to figure that out too. I don't know how.
How you flush the
This
system?
is like kind of new to me, but like how you make that system work with the hot or like the pressurized water coming from the jet versus clearing it out. But we'll get into all that later.
Yeah, for
I'm
now
sure we're
we
gonna
just
learn a bunch of things.
for now we just got to make that thing spin with that engine, and we'll go.
Simple. Yes.
Sounds pretty simple on paper, but we have a lot to get done. I know Garrett was telling me that even welding up the boat wasn't the hardest part. They still had so much to get done after the hull was assembled, just assembling everything. So we're still probably looking at, you know, a few months worth of work until this thing's actually up and operational, but try to knock it out as soon as we can. Like we said, we believe we are the first to attempt this, so we're gonna have to overcome any boundaries that we face and solve things on our own, because there is no manual on K-swapping a jet boat. So we're excited to figure it out though, because once she's gonna rip.
I just realized we got to figure out a starter ring for the motor too.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be too bad, because I assumed we'll use a
flywheel.
yeah, an aftermarket, just a manual flywheel, like an aluminum one or whatever, because then they'll have the yeah, that's for an automatic. We'll have to use a manual style flywheel for a manual clutch, so then the starter still works, and go from there.
A little hub off it with like a 1310 U-joint right off of it. Probably just bolt it to the same crankshaft.
Yep, find a way to get that bolted right onto there, because this is going to be direct drive. It's just straight from the engine to the shaft there.
Yep.
So when the engine's running, the props are spinning, and then that's what the bucket is for. You can set this halfway down to create a neutral. All the way down will be reverse, and then obviously all the way up is going forward. but she's a direct drive right to the engine. Yeah, and we did go with the 2.4 liter just for the extra torque, because it takes a lot of torque to move an impeller through water like that. We were gonna go with the K20, which is also a little shorter, which might give us more room, but we figured go with the 24 because we do have the room for it. It definitely will not hurt to have the extra torque, because that is very important with all this boat stuff. If you don't have the torque to get it up into its power band, then they struggle down low. Give you guys a quick update on the giveaway MR2 as well. We got some more goodies in for this thing. So we have a whole bunch of stuff coming in to do the power steering, AC delete, all that. And then we're also getting the interior pieces that are missing for this thing on the way. But we got this box right here. I'm gonna show you guys some of the goodies that we got from K-Tune. So this car has a billet K-Tune shifter in it, and I just ran factory RSX cables, and one of the bushings was missing from the cables I had. If you guys saw in the promo video, I literally had an Allen wrench holding the cable into the shifter, and it had a lot of slop. This thing has always been kind of iffy on the shifts, but that is all going to change because we got some brand new race cables from K-Tune. They're actually made for that specific shifter. We got all the new hardware and the proper bushings, so everything's gonna be nice and smooth. So we got the factory RSX ones unhooked, and we will be installing these nice race shifter cables from K-Tune, and then it will shift much, much nicer after we get all that done. And this is a piece from K-Tune that is really cool. So this right here is the mount for these shifter cables. This actually goes to the transmission, and this was designed specifically for rear engine K-Series cars. The bracket that is on here is one from Hux Racing, and it works awesome, but K-Tune wanted us to try out this billet one they made, and we are going to be swapping that out. So whoever wins the car is going to have a very fancy shifter cable bracket on there. All billet, CNC. But as the other parts roll in, we'll keep you guys updated on the red MR2 here. And don't forget, every $5 you spend on theboostedboys.com will get you an automatic entry to win this thing. And we think we know how we're going to do the turbo setup and everything like that. So she's really gonna start coming along here in the next 30 days. Well, boys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video, but we got our fancy new Scott water jet, and this thing is so sweet. Really excited to get the jet boat up and running, but we have some things that we need to get ordered before we can even begin to start mounting the engine and getting everything lined up. We got to cut holes in the back of the boat. Still some final measurements we got to take. We got a lot of work to do still, but we're making progress. This was one of the biggest pieces to the puzzle. We got the boat, we got the engine, and now we have our jet drive. All that's left is making it all work in there, getting an engine management, wiring the thing up, and there's still so much more from there, seats, everything. So it's gonna be an extensive project, but we're gonna get it done, boys. This thing's gonna be sweet. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one.